Guys, check this out. Aside to the fact of all the wild, crazy stuff that's going on social media, the Diddy trials, all these people getting pardons, and all the crazy stuff that's going on around the world, do y'all notice something that a lot of people let slip past them? A lot of guys are no longer dating. I have never seen a time where so many men are so proud to say that they're single. They have their own place, they have their own cars, they got good jobs, they're not being judged. They don't have to worry about if something goes wrong, they're getting exposed all over the internet. Do you know the dating scene, not only here in Texas, but everywhere? Guys are just enjoying their lives of being stress-free without all of the headaches. Do you know every time someone starts to date somebody, whether that person has a name for them or the other person has a name for themselves, do you know every time an argument occurs within their household, they get exposed, it's all over the internet? And a lot of guys have experienced it and they're tired of it. So a lot of these men now, they don't care no more about no baddie, because a baddie ain't paying no bills. The looks ain't bringing nothing to the table. A lot of these guys would rather just be single and do their little thing on the side and send their little tails on home. And a lot of females are doing it too. A lot of women want to stay single. They don't want nothing to do with a man or a relationship. But I notice mostly guys now, I've never seen a time like where I have seen so many men are staying single. So I put a post up a while back and I asked, why do so many men stay single now, and why are so many men so happy to be single? A lot of the guys' comments says peace of mind. The majority said that they're tired of getting into it with their girls or their significant others, and they got to get exposed all over the internet, and then a week or two they right back together. So we live in a time now where people don't even want to be in relationships anymore. God made somebody for everybody, but you know what's bad? When people don't even want to date no more. People not even dating anymore. You go into the store now, flowers are expiring on the shelves because people hardly even buy any flowers except when it's Valentine's Day or it's Mother's Day and stuff like that. People don't even care about relationships anymore. I mean, everywhere you look, you see somebody who's happy to be a single man. It's not because they're ugly. It's not because they're broke. It's not because they have no motion. They got all of the above. They just would prefer to stay single. And you know that's bad when times is changing like that, where people don't want to be in a relationship or be involved. And me personally, from what I've seen and what I've witnessed on the internet, I don't blame a lot of these people for staying single. It's either you a deadbeat, you broke, or you don't do this or do that anymore. Everybody's looking at the next person to see what the next person has. And a lot of guys and a lot of females don't want to deal with that anymore. This person's with you now, but then they see somebody who looks better than you, got a little bit more to offer than you, then all of a sudden, you get kicked to the side. So this is the reason why a lot of people are actually choosing to just stay single. And you know what? I don't freaking blame them. I'd rather be one of those people who would just, wake up every day with a peace of mind. You should never be dating somebody and your whole entire day is stressed out. You wake up sad. You wake up not want to be around that person. You're supposed to be happy and want to wake up to that person. You should be wanting to go buy them flowers. You should be in a position where you want to take them out to eat, where you can't stop looking at them. You can't keep your eyes off them. But the way that the dating scene is nowadays, everybody wants too much. People don't know how to keep their mouth closed and keep their businesses to themselves. Mainly when it comes down to a couple's argument. Why when two couples argue within the privacy of their home, it makes it to the internet? Why when your man or your woman lose their job and fall short, it makes it to the internet? Why when a woman and a man breaks up because of something that she did, all of a sudden the man is a deadbeat dad, but he wasn't a deadbeat dad last week when he was over there blowing your back out. So this is why a lot of people are staying single, man. And I can honestly say, I don't think that it's going to get any better. It's going to keep getting worse because this new generation of people that's being raised is raised off of materialistic, only what a person can do for them. You even got people out there now, they only get dressed and look nice just to go see if they can meet somebody who looks good, who can actually provide for them. That's all it's about, man. It's not even about the type of person that you are anymore. Women will actually choose a rich man that will dog them out over a good man that's a hard-working man, but don't have as much money as a rich man. And that's crazy to me, bro. This economy, society as a whole, and our people are messed up. People say that the world has changed. No, the world hasn't changed. It's the people in the world that's changed. The world is still the same. The trees still growing leaves like it always has. The grass still growing grass like it always has. The sky still turns blue, and it still turns dark at night. So the world hasn't changed. It's the people in the world. And that's the reason why people are choosing to stay single, man. Too much has changed. And that's why a lot of these guys say, I'd rather have my peace of mind than to be in competition with the next man. Social media has made it so easy for people to cheat. Even if they're not physically cheating in the flesh, they're still entertaining other men. Men are still entertaining other women. The internet has messed up anything to do with a relationship, because as soon as you think that you're doing something, your girl or your dude sees something on the internet that looks very appetizing to them. Like, he has a better car. She has a better body. It's all a game, bro. All of it is a game. And this is why people are choosing to stay single. So if you're one of those people who's going through the BS and you just being used, recognize that you're being used and just stay single. Trust me, you have a better peace of mind by just staying single and staying the hell to yourself. I'm out.
You know, it really shouldn't surprise anyone at this point. Most people today aren't looking for genuine connections. No, it's rarely about love or partnership anymore. It's about control. It's about having someone to vent on, a punching bag for all their daily frustrations, a shoulder to dump negativity on without actually investing themselves emotionally. And here's the kicker. That behavior has quietly poisoned the dating landscape. Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. Add money into the equation, and it's a recipe for burnout. Picture this. A man goes out trying to navigate the modern dating jungle. He drops $100, $200, maybe more on a single night, thinking maybe this one will actually click. And then, shocker, there's no connection, nothing real, just awkward small talk, forced smiles, and the creeping realization that the effort doesn't match the reward. Now imagine repeating that cycle over and over. It's exhausting. Emotionally, it chips away at your patience, your optimism, financially. Let's just say the wallet feels lighter every week, and after a while, you start asking yourself, is it even worth it? The answer for a lot of men right now is no. Because in a world where superficiality is rewarded and real intimacy is scarce, chasing romance can feel less like a thrill and more like a trap. And that, my friends, is exactly why so many men are checking out quietly, not because they hate women, but because the system has made meaningful dating feel impossible.
Right.
I just like the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want.
Right. I think
And that's really what it boils down to. People are like, oh, you're 45 and you're single and this and this and this. Like, I just like that I can do what I want.
Yeah.
If I'm tired, I go home and go to bed. If I want to go back to work, I can work till 3 a.m. I don't have to feel like, are you cheating? Who's the girl in the background? That's my bar manager. Why are she here with you at 2 a.m? Because we're opening up a bar in 3 weeks. I don't have to deal with that. And I think I like that. And I see too many people that have to live by somebody else's emotions and someone else's feelings.
And here we go, the anthem of the modern age. I can do whatever I want, however I want. Sounds empowering, right? Until you realize it's really just a fancy way of saying, I'm not accountable for anything. That's the zero accountability culture in action. It's everywhere. Dating, friendships, even family life. Everyone wants the perks of freedom, but none of the baggage. Choices without consequences. Control without compromise. A world where your feelings matter, but so do yours exclusively. And here's the truth. That mindset is toxic. It doesn't just strain relationships, it actively destroys them. Because real connection, the kind that lasts, isn't about selfish freedom. It's about balance, respect, and the messy, inconvenient work of compromise. when you remove accountability, what you get isn't peace. It's chaos, emotional confusion, misaligned expectations. And let's be honest, in the dating world, that's why so many people are frustrated, burned out, or just plain checked out. You can't build something meaningful when the rules of give and take are ignored. Freedom without responsibility isn't liberation, it's a fast track to disappointment.
In your 20s, avoid getting a girlfriend unless you meet a unicorn that alters your life. Staying single is a competitive advantage to make you more successful, save money, and network and meet more people. Not only that, a relationship is a job in itself, and you're dealing with someone's emotions, traumas, and different things that happen. While there's a lot of great benefits to being in a relationship, unless it's a person you're meant to be with, avoid it at all costs. Dating itself, depending on how much you make and where you live, costs $30,000 to $50,000 a year. And for anybody that listens that makes real money and has a nice lifestyle and you have to double that, the costs are sometimes more than $100K. When you're building from scratch and trying to figure out life, you do not need to have to answer to someone. You don't have to tell people where you are. You need to conserve that energy and move fast. Date women, have fun, but don't make it serious and focus on developing yourself. And when you're at your peak.
And let's be honest, real genuine women, they're becoming almost mythical these days. Hard to find, rare, and that's not some exaggeration. It's a pattern men have painfully observed over years of navigating modern dating. Most men, by the time they're in their late 20s or early 30s, have already endured the stress, the constant drama, and yes, the financial drain. Dates that cost more than a night out with friends, emotional energy, spent decoding mixed signals, and yet little to show for it in terms of real connection. It's exhausting, and eventually it forces a reckoning. By their 30s and 40s, a lot of men reach a turning point. They start to realize that peace, inner calm, focus, and success in life is far more rewarding than chasing women who bring nothing but chaos into their world. Because here's the hard truth. Happiness and stability aren't found in the next swipe, the next coffee, date, or the illusion of romance. They're built by knowing your worth, setting boundaries, and investing in the life you actually want, not in someone else's drama. And that, right there, explains why so many men today are quietly opting out. Not bitterness, not cynicism, just a clear-eyed understanding that their time, energy, and money are far too valuable to gamble on fleeting chaos.
Someone who speaks to and coaches many men who are going through a divorce, one of the biggest struggles that I know they face is trying to figure out what the future will hold. Look, I'm not trying to kid anyone that going through a divorce or even a breakup of a relationship is easy. It's not, especially if it's a contentious one. And I know that from personal experience a few decades back when I was battling X1, as I call her, for years in court. I often struggled to see any light at the end of the tunnel. And I know it seems daunting, but I promise you it does get better. Much, much better, in fact, as so many men have found out. Which is why today I want to share with you my 5 unexpected perks of being single again for men. These are the very same ones that I talk about with the men who are going through a divorce or breakup, but the truth is it applies every bit as much to men who aren't in relationships or going through breakups. And these are in no particular order except the one I'm saving for last, which is, in my opinion, the best thing about being single for men. We'll get to that, but first let's look at some of the other perks. My first one, I call you being in charge. Let's face it, fellas, when we're in a relationship with a woman, it almost always becomes entirely about her. Your goals, your wants, your needs become secondary to hers, if they're even a consideration at all. Remember all those weekends spent at her friend Becky's apartment, listening to them drone on about who knows what while you have to paste on a smile as you slowly die of boredom inside? No more having to spend weekends antiquing or watching yet another one of those inane movies on Hallmark that she so loves, where every woman who is looking for that perfect guy just happens to find him when she least expects it. No more dealing with any of that. You get to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, or just do nothing at all. Because guess what? no one's making plans for you anymore. You're in control of your life, and no one can do a damn thing about it. Next up, financial freedom. That old axiom that what's hers is hers and what's yours is hers exists for a reason. It's why so many married men or men in relationships are constantly checking their bank accounts, hoping they won't end up having a heart attack in the process. When you're single, your money stays your money. No more being on a first-name basis with the UPS guy as he drops off yet another mystery Amazon package. No more quick trips to Target for just one thing that somehow end up lasting 2 hours and result in you walking out with 14 scented candles, 2 more pillows to add to the 29 she's already piling up on the bed every morning, not to mention that plant she always wanted that ends up dying in a week anyway. You get to make all of the financial decisions and spend the money on what makes you happy instead of what makes her happy. And oh, by the way, it's why so many men, even when they have to pay child support and alimony, end up better off financially after the breakup, while their ex is struggling to afford her $2 chuck and food for her cat. Next up, and I know some of you guys are going to laugh and agree with me on this one, you get to eat whatever the hell you want. You want chili fries or pancakes for dinner? Go right ahead. Want to have steak or wings for the 4th time this week? By all means. No more listening to her saying, "Why are you eating that again?" or "Don't you want to try something new once in a while?" You can eat anything you want, and as an additional bonus, you don't have to put up with her stealing all the fries off your plate after you asked her if she wanted her own order and her saying, "No, I'm not hungry." Which brings us to number 4, which is life becomes a lot less stressful. The truth is, most guys have no idea how much stress they're under in a relationship until it's gone. No more dealing with her drama, no more inane questions every day like, "Do you still love me?" No more having to listen to her go on and on about what her friend Becky's husband did for her and why can't you be more like him. No more putting up with her bitching because you left a spoon in the sink or didn't put those aforementioned 29 pillows back on the bed in just the right way when you made it. All of that goes away and is replaced by number 5, and what I think is the biggest perk for men, which is peace. Sweet, glorious peace. As I said, no more fighting about the dishes. No more, "We need to talk" at 11 p.m. when you just want to go to bed. No more having to feel guilty because you just wanted 10 minutes of quiet time to yourself when you got home from your long day's work before you gave the kids a bath. It's just you, your thoughts, and peace. Sweet, blissful peace. Look, relationships can be great, but the reality is most of them aren't. For every great one, there's 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 that aren't. Your odds of finding and maintaining a great relationship these days really aren't much better than those of winning the lottery. Which is why escaping a bad one, while yes, painful at first, in the end often turns out to be the best thing that ever happened to a man. You don't have to believe me. Just go read the thousands of comments on some of my videos from men who have escaped. Hell, I'm sure some will comment on this video. And as one guy recently said to me, being single after being in a horrible marriage is like finally exhaling after holding your breath for years.
And here it is, the ultimate plot twist in modern dating. Men have officially exited the soap opera. Gone are the days of constant drama, manipulation, and emotional games that used to define so many relationships. The era of tolerating chaos just to chase connection over. Instead, men are choosing something radically different. Silence over noise, focus over distraction, freedom over obligation. They're reclaiming their time, their energy, and their peace. And make no mistake, this isn't retreat out of fear or bitterness. It's strategy. It's clarity. Peace has become their grand finale, the curtain call on years of stress and confusion. And honestly, it might just be the best ending they could have written for themselves. Because in a world obsessed with entitlement and drama, stepping back, setting boundaries, and prioritizing personal growth isn't giving up, it's winning. This shift isn't just a trend, it's a quiet revolution. a signal that men are no longer willing to play by a script that rewards chaos. And that, right there, is a cultural moment every woman, every man, and every observer of modern dating needs to understand.
Staying single because it's not men that don't feel worthy of love. It's that they don't trust that women are going to give them the love they feel they deserve. There's ulterior motives, conditions, acts of service they have to do in order to be worthy of such love, versus women just have to be women. Because a lot of the times they use their kitty as a bargaining chip, as a prize to be won. Well, when you use that as a tool to bargain with, then it becomes a commodity and it lessens the value for both sexes. So for some, it's far less problematic to just be single. They respect their worth, they just don't feel that a woman respects theirs.
Men are finally waking up to a hard truth. Marriage today can feel less like a partnership and more like a high-stakes financial gamble, and the odds are rarely in their favor. The moment children enter the picture, dynamics shift dramatically. A man who once felt central in his partner's life can quickly become secondary, emotionally sidelined as attention turns almost exclusively to the kids. And here's the kicker. Despite all the talk about love not being transactional, many men discover that affection still comes with a price tag. They're constantly expected to prove their worth, to earn love and appreciation that, in a healthy relationship, should flow freely. Every gesture, every effort becomes a test, a subtle, exhausting calculus of approval. It's no wonder so many men are stepping back, reevaluating, and protecting themselves. In a world where emotional labor is unevenly distributed and traditional expectations collide with modern realities, silence, focus, and boundaries aren't just choices, they're survival strategies. Men aren't checked out because they don't care. They're simply choosing to invest their energy where it actually matters, rather than in a system rigged with impossible expectations.
Single men happier than you think? A lot of single men are not actually miserable. A lot of them are doing better than fine. Society likes to push the idea, oh, men are lost without a woman. That's a lie. For years now, men have been told that their happiness only comes from marriage and kids and overall settling down. But modern relationships don't offer men the same benefits that they used to. Men aren't wrong for asking what's in it for me before they go into a really serious relationship. Single men today have financial freedom and overall peace of mind. They have control over their own lives. They're traveling, building businesses, hitting the gym, and overall going after their goals. And until women are willing to offer a little bit more in relationships, this is going to continue. Holding men to these outdated expectations, but also a variety of new ones that show up every single day, is just not doing it for them. And they're not going to continue having relationships.
At the end of the day, it's simple. Men don't want drama. They don't want unnecessary conflict. What they want is peace. The freedom to focus on themselves, their growth, and their lives without being dragged into endless chaos. Protecting their peace has become a priority, not selfishness, not avoidance, but self-preservation in a world that rarely rewards clarity or calm. Thanks for watching Manhood. If this hit home and you want access to exclusive episodes or want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, especially if you've been feeling this same truth firsthand, and we want to hear from you. Drop your stories, your thoughts, your experiences in the comments. We read every single one. Remember, peace isn't given, it's claimed. And for men stepping away from the noise, that choice is the ultimate act of strength. See you tomorrow.